Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from Inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another card making video. This is our Stamp Around the World video hop today, and everyone is making fun fold cards, okay? So this one isn't easy for me at all. I like my nice bog standard cards, but come up with something. So I hope you like it. We're going to feature new mixture of online goodies and some new stuff. So we've got all of Flutter, of course. This is going to be one of my favourites, as my name suggests. And we've got Cutest Crew as well. Okay, I've pulled out the dies there, but I'm not actually using the dies. Got the punch to go with that, and we've also got the lovely spotlight on nature and the stylish shapes in the background there. Okay, so this is what I'm making. Everyone else will be making their own fun fold cards. I'm sure there's going to be lots of variety out there and some very clever things, and all the links to their videos are going to be in the description, so do click below. You might need to click more, but there'll be a nice list of video links there for you to have a look at. Okay, so back to mine then. So I've made a belly band to keep this shut, which has got our lovely birds on and one of the butterflies, and then I've got I don't know what I would call this, a fold back gatefold, I don't know, something like that. Okay, so the inside panels have got the coordinating designer series paper, got the birds on the inside as well, and then some matching but different pattern on these flaps here. I didn't do these ones because you probably won't see them, so did that, and then the other two butterflies are there without sort of impeding on the belly band. Okay, so it is a bit of a, you have to squish everything to make sure it goes on, but it does go on, because I made sure it did. So those are on flat. Okay, it will sort of slot behind that butterfly a little bit, so just sort of cute like that. So I thought it was cool, and I've got Wink of Stella on the little birdies there. I don't have the new shimmer pens yet, but those would work lovely in the hydrangea hue for this particular card. So yeah, the designer series paper is from the mixed patterns pack, but obviously you can use whatever you want. So that's what we're working to, and we're going to basically flip the paper, okay, because on the other side of that lovely paper are these patterns in Daffodil Delight. So we're going to use these ones because they were already cut out. So there's a bit of stuff I've done ahead of time, and to try and just sort of save a bit, because you want to see how it all comes together. So I've already die cut a circle. So on this card I've got accents with Night of Navy. Most of it's balmy blue. I've got Night of Navy on this layer, and I've got Misty Moonlight for the outline images, the butterflies, and a bit of inking around the edges there. So my colour that I'm going to coordinate in this one is Crushed Curry. So I've got Daffodil Delight with a bit of Crushed Curry. Already die cut my circles, ready to stamp. This is my inside panel. Normally this would be like 4 inches across, but when you fold it and you've got all those bits coming in, I've taken off an extra 1/8 of an inch. So this is 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 3/4, and that's the inside panel. And then I've got these bits of paper. This is 6 by 6 at the moment, and this is 6 by something, but that's going to cut our little layers, so we'll do those in a little bit. And then my Daffodil Delight cardstock, just need to take off some fuzzies there. So this started life as an A4 sheet, and I cut it down to 10 inches wide, and then I cut off a strip at the bottom here as well. Okay, so what does this measure? I've forgotten, you see. This is 1 1/8, so we can put a 1" strip of paper across that to make our belly band. Okay, all right. I've already got so the other strip from when I made my sample is here as well, so I'm just going to flip that over and that's going to layer onto that. So that's ready to go in a bit. The folding then, we're going to do on the well, you can do it on either. You can do it on the what do you call it, the Simply Scored if you've got that, but you can do it on the trimmer as well. So we want to be able to score at 1 on each end. That's going to be our fold back. So I'm going to make sure my grey blade is out, my dark blade is out the way. I did almost cut my sample. So we're going to do it at 1, and I like to do my short scores, if you like, on this side so that you've got all of this room to make sure it's all level. So I'll do my 1" ones here. Okay, so I've just got 1" at each end. Okay, and it's overall it's 10 inches, and then I want to make a 2" increment. So 2 + 1 is 3, so I'm going to line it up at the 3 and score there on both ends. Okay, now you could do mountains and valleys and everything, but it's all good in the end. Okay, so if you were doing it on a scoreboard, it'd be 1, 3, 7, 9, and then obviously 10 at the is the cut-off line. Okay, but you can do it on your trimmer by doing 1 and 3, flipping it around, 1 and 3. Hope that made sense. Okay, and then we just need to fold in. So we're going to fold in, burnish, fold back, and burnish, and the same on the other side. Fold in and back, and hopefully if everything's sort of measured and cut and everything, you should get it roughly meet in the middle. It's not perfect, but it meets well enough in the middle for me. Okay, so that's obviously the basis of our card, and now we can do some decorating. Okay, so we need to cut our strips of paper, and this is where Verity's got to remember what she's doing. Where's my sample gone? Right, the nice pattern is the bit that's going to go on these 2 flaps as we look on the inside. Okay, so it's basically 2, 3 minus a bits. Okay, so at the moment this is 6 inches. I need my trimmer back, so I'm going to cut this down now to 5 3/4, which is the height of a layer. Okay, and we need something that's going to sit on that 1" panel, which makes this 7/8 of an inch. So again, you might want to cut it on this side rather than that side, but you know, each to their own. Let's do it on this side, it might be less confusing. So get that into place and we'll cut that. If you want to keep it, if you've got a nice pattern like I did on the other one, I cut each of the strips so that they will sit in the right order and sort of line back up again. So that one was just short of 1. The next one needs to be just short of 2, so we're going to take that to 1 7/8 of an inch. If I was continuing my pattern, I would do my 1 7/8 of an inch again. Okay, and then my last one is going to be 7/8 of an inch. So on this pattern, it probably doesn't matter that much. Okay, but obviously if you've got something directional or something where you definitely want things to look matched up, that's how I would do it. Okay, so there's our 4 bits for the inside, and while we've got the trimmer out, we need to do the bits for these panels here. Okay, so again, that's another 2-inch portion. So again, we're going to take this down to 5 3/4 because that's how high our layers are when we put them on a standard card. So we'll take that down, and then we need 1 7/8 and 1 7/8. So again, if you want to pattern match it a little bit, then go for it. I think that's probably, oh gosh, I'm only going to be cutting off a little teeny tiny bit, aren't I? Ooh, I might not even bother. It's definitely less than 2. I'm going to leave that as it is. Maybe I've already trimmed it down. Anyway, so whatever that width was, you need 2 1 7/8 of an inch panels. Okay. Hope everyone's keeping up so far. Oh crikey, it does hurt my brain doing all this stuff. So what we're going to do now is, before we stick these down, is I'm going to add a little bit of ink around the edges of these, and I've done that with a Stampin' blend marker. So we don't have a crushed curry one, but we do have a Daffodil Delight. What's that other one? Lemon Lolly. Yeah, that'll be too light. And then we get into oranges and stuff. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use Darling Duckling. Don't tell. That'd be better. It'd be darker and show up better, I think. Let's do Darling Duckling. Okay, so I'm going to use the brush tip on this. And you know what? There are fluffies on here because I haven't changed the blade on my trimmer, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's got a distressed look. And I'm going to run my marker along the edge of this paper. You could sort of dunk it in an ink pad as well. But it's super subtle, but it's enough just to take off that kind of that raw white edge, if you like. And I will say that my tip when doing anything like this is, if you're likely to slip, you want the side you don't want facing you. So I'm holding it this way. Obviously most of you are right-handed, so you'd be holding it the other way. So if I was to slip, I'd only mark the back and not the lovely pretty side that I want. Okay, so we're just going to take the time just to do this. So I slipped then, and it's gone on the back. Don't need to worry about it. Okay, and but like I say, you could use an ink pad, sponge dauber, even a blending brush or something like that if you wanted to use an alternative method for doing that and you weren't comfortable using the side of your marker. I don't mind. It's super subtle, but I think it's I think it stands out enough to make it worthwhile, put it that way. So yeah, so bear with me a second while we just do this. I hope everyone's enjoying the new catalogue. If you haven't seen it, where have you been? So do if you've got a demonstrator, do hop along to their site, have a look at the digital download, or order a copy, or if you, sometimes people send them out. Have a look. And at the moment as well, we've got an offer on for new joiners. So if you're after some nice new shiny magnetic ink pads with our new ink colours, joining at the moment, you will get a set of those for free in your starter kit, or you can get some extra product. So it's exciting times at the moment, and there are all sorts of things going on in the Stampin' Up world, and there's craft classes and all sorts on offer. So it's worthwhile just having a look on the website and reaching out to your demonstrator if you're interested in any of those things. Right, we've done all that inking. Where's the lid gone? There it is. So that looks amazing, right? So shall we do the sticking? Yeah, let's do the sticking. Let's do it. Okay, let's flip, 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 flip. And I'm just going to get my trusty seal out because that's how I rock and roll. And I can get my strips of tape on here. Oh, there we go. This is where I get into a mess. Even when I say seal is great because you don't get into a mess, and I'm going to end up in a mess. Okay, a couple of strips here and there. So what I don't want to do is end up sticking things together. But this is what so see what I'm doing now. I'm getting all the strips prepped, and then we can stick them all down. A little bit of a, well, I think it's a bit of a time saver. Anyway, so there we go, and we'll flip and stick. So our pretty patterns. I'm hoping my camera. Oh, it's hard to keep track of what I'm doing and what I need to be showing you. So we'll just drop that down, and because we've measured it so carefully, it's all going to be good. Flip and stick. That one going to go there. Just when you've got layers next to each other like that, it's worthwhile just having a quick squeeze just to see things are lined up, because it will just look a little bit more finished if you do that. But it's handmade, don't worry about it. And some of these fluffies might need to go later, but for now it's fine. And then this one goes here. So there we go. So that's that side done. Oh no, almost did it on the wrong one. This side. There we go. And then these ones. So mechanism is pretty much there for our fun fold, and you don't have to do the belly band. I just thought it was a nice added extra for this particular card. Okay, so there we go. Pretty. And you can sort of flex it and whatever, and it'll be really grand, and you know, just reinforce all those folds, and it will sit reasonably flat. A bit of bounce, but I think that's to be expected. Okay, right, let's do a little bit of stamping then. So we need to stamp on our Spotlight on Nature circle and our little panel that's going to be on the inside, and we need to stamp butterflies. So butterflies then. I'm going to use crushed curry ink. Oh, shall I use Darling Duckling actually? Oh, that's crushed curry. No, I'm going to use Darling Duckling. Just because I can. Darling Duckling. And I'm going to stamp my butterflies. Now, when you've got a coordinating punch, you want to be mindful of how you're stamping your image, so that you then can get your punch, lined up. Otherwise you end up kind of all over the place. There are all sorts of hints and tricks, but I like to just eyeball it, really, to be honest. So let's just hold that in place, and we're going to go with that. So let's just go like that and stamp those. Oh, cute. Really nice. Okay, so there's our butterflies, and then we need our birds and our sentiments. So I think I'm going to pop my sentiment in. which will give me my grounding for the birds. So I think just below centre like that, and we'll go there. Okay, yellow isn't always the best for sentiments. Could have pulled in something darker, but you know, I wanted to keep it all matchy because that's how I rock and roll. Okay, and there's our little birds there. Okay, and then on the inside panel we've got 2 sets to do here. So we've got one set tucked into the corner there, and if you then move that over a little bit, there we go, they sit nice and beautifully in a little row there. They're so cute, so cute. Right, so Wink of Stella is going to go onto these little birds in here, just to add a little bit of something. Haven't used Wink of Stella for ages, and I got a sort of, because of this the new shimmer pens, I was like, oh, actually I haven't used Wink of Stella in ages, so here we go, here's Wink of Stella. Okay, so that'll dry a little bit, and then for these guys I want my, let's bring in Lemon Lolly actually, because that's a nice pale colour. Lemon Lolly, so bit of dark marker. This is White Willow, by the way, so note to self, just be a bit careful using your blends on White Willow. It can bleed a little bit if you are too heavy with it. This is my light one, so that'll smooth out. It's just very simple colouring. If you are worried about bleed, my tip is to colour almost up to the edge, and then any feathering will kind of bridge the gap. And I might just bring in just a teensy bit of, sorry about the beeping in the background. Let's bring in the Darling Duckling again, just to do the eyes a little bit darker and the little beaks. Cute. So I think they probably could have been stamped in a darker outline, but I just, like I say, I just wanted to keep it all matchy. And some Wink's going to go on these as well. Okay, just for a little bit of extra something. And of course, you know, I'm making this to coordinate with the paper I've chosen to work with. There are so many wonderful patterned papers. I'm sure you could find something to fit the bill there. And then obviously coordinate everything in other ways. So there's our topper. The Wink does need a little bit of time to dry, because I do find that I end up with glitter on, because if you put that face down now, I think I'll get glitter on the work surface. And then we'll punch our butterflies. Cool, this is taking longer than I thought it was going to. But I hope you like it. Oops. Let's get that lined up. Just take a moment just to make sure. Crunch. Lovely. So there we go. So I think we've got all our elements now, apart from we just need to stick our belly band together. So again, just some, this was the 10-inch long strip that I cut off from that original piece. Woo, sticking to me. So we'll pop that on there. I didn't put any ink on this one, and I forgot on the other one as well. But again, optional extra. Optional extra. Now again, we need some scores in this to help it go round. Now, you'd think it would be 3, but I would recommend doing it a little less than that to give you some little wiggle room. So just take it back just to that previous mark there, and that will just make that middle section just a touch wider and give you the wiggle room to get round the card without bending it. And just like before, we'll just make sure that those creases are nice and sharp. Okay, and we'll just pop again some seal on there. Seal Plus if you really want it, an extra bit of a bond or some liquid glue, but obviously you'll have to wait for that to dry. So we'll just let that relax and just pop into place, but straight, hopefully. And then a bit more seal or glue or whatever you want to secure the little tapper on top. So I'm sort of making that sort of sentiment just run along that edge there a little bit, so it looks like it's straight. Okay, our panel needs to go on the inside, so we'll pop that in there. Like so. So you've got plenty of room to write. We'll close it up. We can pop the belly band on, and it's, yay, it worked. That would have been a bit of a disaster if I couldn't get it on camera, isn't it, really? And then we can add our butterfly. So I am going to use a dab of wet glue on these because I just want to secure them just with a bit of glue, so they've just got a little bit of movement on them. So I love how the blue one turned out. This one's cute as well, but obviously, you know, you do you use those papers and the colours that you enjoy. Okay, this was just what I had today, and that is my, whatever this is called, fold back gatefold thingy. I'm sure somebody's got a posh name for it, I'm sure. Okay, there we go. I really enjoyed making those. I was really super pleased with the sample. Okay, and just shows it in a completely different light using the daffodil light. Okay, so that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed it, and you might give this a go. I'd love to see it if you did. And don't forget, lots more inspiration in the links below with all the other demonstrators from all over the place. So it'd be really cool to see what they've done. I've not seen them either, so it's just as much a surprise for me as it is for you. Thanks so much for joining me today. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.